financial security through an investment portfolio is pas que pas. Don't just listen to what the media is telling you. That's the trap that a lot of people get stuck into. Where do you want to be in 10 years? Where do you want to be in 20 years?
Hello everyone, welcome to the first episode of Pas que Pas by Intero. I'm so excited today to have my brother, Michael Topolinski IV, on today's episode.
Yeah, well, this is a lot of fun, so it's nice to be here with you, Ashton, my sister. Obviously, you know, we talk about real estate all the time. This is our life, this is our passion, not only as developers, but even with our own investment portfolios. So I'm excited to talk about it and to talk about what's going on in Bucharest, and I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited too.
So let's set just a few ground basic facts before I go into any conditions about the market, any information, or, you know, my perspective on some of the questions that buyers would have today. The first thing is we are siblings, so we work together. You know, that's a blessing for us. Number two, we are a real estate developer in Bucharest, one of the larger developers in Bucharest today. So of course there is, you know, a perceived bias with that, and we should just be direct about that. But the last, you know, ground rule that I just want to set in terms of what I'm going to talk about is that outside the fact that we are real estate developers, and, you know, there is a bias that comes with that, we have our own personal real estate investment portfolios. I've personally invested in 7 different projects throughout Bucharest, many of which are not developed by us. And, you know, we're passionate about what we do on the personal level as well. So the perspective that I'm going to try to bring to the table more is as an independent real estate investor that's, you know, looking for opportunities outside of our own development opportunities. And that's a bit of, you know, the perspective that I'm going to bring to the table. The best time now that you can act on is now.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of supporting positions on that as well.
Yeah, I'm sure so many people are not aware of all the economic factors that we have to consider when we're making any investment. You know, and obviously, like you mentioned, Bucharest is a great city to invest in. Furthermore, one of the best to invest in Romania.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you are interested in investing in general, let's not get sidetracked by the prices that we see in the grocery store. Let's remember the macro level perspective that interest rates are lowering. Although VAT has increased, it's not much of an impact for people that are not first-time home buyers anyway. It's only 2%. And there's also resources that, you know, people can rely on. You know, for example, us, right? We do have some experience in the market, and there's other developers that are also sharing a lot of information. And, you know, and truly at the end of the day, like, I moved back 5 years ago, and I have had a lot of guidance from you, Tyler, and Dad. So being able to actually rely on other people to understand what's going on, it gives a lot more confidence.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's my biggest suggestion for anybody that's interested in investing is watch podcasts, you know, read the news, ask questions, step out of your comfort zone, because the more that we push ourselves to understand new things, the more that we can actually start a portfolio for investments, not only for real estate, but for other type of investments too.
For sure. Yeah, exactly. And that last part that you said about building the portfolio.
Yeah.
Just like building a real estate development, building financial security through an investment portfolio is pas que pas. It's step by step. My suggestion for anyone that wants to secure financial security on a long-term level, be disciplined with your money, budget accordingly. What do you need to live? What's the lifestyle you want to live today? And budget accordingly. Put some money into investments, and I would start as early as humanly possible, and not necessarily even real estate investments, but just investments at large. Definitely diversify your portfolio, as you're mentioning. So no one should be fully vested or invested purely in real estate. There should be some diversification between different assets, such as securities from the US, European securities, government bonds, even term deposits at the bank, things like this. You should be diversified to lower your risk and to secure that long-term success. But really, also, when you think about investing in real estate, specifically in Bucharest, you got to do your research. You need to understand the statistics of the market. You need to do your own due diligence. Don't just listen to me. Don't just listen to what the media is telling you. Look at real statistics and understand what's happening. And the perspective that I would come from is long term. You and I, we have our own real estate investment portfolio. Could we have done flips? Could we have done different things? For sure. And maybe we would have hit bigger returns on some of those specific assets, opportunities. But on those ones, you also have higher risk and you can miss. And for me and in my perspective, I believe in building long-term financial security. I believe that it's a process, and it's a process that's earned through discipline and consistency. And so when you're investing in real estate, my belief and the perspective that I would share is, don't think about just what's going to happen in the next year. Think about what's going to happen in 10 years. Think about what's going to happen in 20 years. Think about long-term perspective.
Exactly, yeah.
Some of the most wealthy real estate investors, and just investors generally that have real estate, consistently say they buy real estate and they never sell. And that's because they understand that long term, you have an exceptionally high likelihood that you will win.
Yeah.
And you'll build that financial security.
Exactly. And following the brand of brick by brick, we really chose that brand because each brick resembles an investment, right? And so one investment at a time, you can build a beautiful long-term home, right? Or in other words, a long-term portfolio full of different types of investments.
Yep.
Right? So it's about being patient and knowing that it's not going to be immediate returns, but it's going to be a lot more secure long-term returns, and you will end with a larger house, for example.
Yeah, that's actually also kind of a interesting perspective, one that I agree with as well, and I think that you and I both kind of took. With our capital in terms of buying real estate, we started with investments. So we didn't start by buying our home.
No.
We started by buying investments. Even today, you still rent today. You own significant real estate investment portfolio, but you've decided that rather than just putting this money into a home and not earning income on it, you'd rather put your money into income, pay affordable rent, and build up that income first, and then do the home. And I took the same approach, and so did our brother, and so did many people that we have in our network, right? So that's also another perspective. That is purely opinion. I think that is purely whether you want to go investment first, build up the income, then buy your home, or buy the home, then look for investments and things like that. I think that's purely a personal decision based off of what your goals are financially, what level of security you want to have financially, and what you're trying to build.
Yeah.
And that comes back to the discipline, right?
Yeah.
I think, the discipline is important. We come from North America. We come from Toronto. We have family. Our mother is American. We have family in the States. We've seen and we've lived in markets where people spend beyond their means, that aren't disciplined, that use as much credit as possible, credit cards, loans from the bank, big house that they can't really afford, but they get financing from the bank, all this stuff. That's just the norm of what we've seen, and that's the trap that a lot of people get stuck into. The discipline side, and obviously, you mentioned that we're disciplined with our own capital, which is the reality of things. That discipline side is super important, and will if you are disciplined on a consistent basis for a long term, it's going to be difficult for you to not win.
Yeah, and I want to wrap it up with one more thing. Obviously in Romania and in Bucharest, people love to have flashy cars, they love to have nice things, and we all do. But I think being very clever as a person who wants to make lots of money, I think, like you said, it's very important to think long term. That's what I really want to stress right now, is that you can have some nice things, of course, but not having an apartment that you can pay rent on, but having a beautiful car is not going to get you very far. Okay. So my suggestion is in being humble and knowing that the rewards will come.
Yeah.
Right. But we have to, once again, be disciplined, be patient, and see the end goal. Because other than that, it's just the wealth will not come to the level that I think that most people can achieve.
Start with your goal. Where do you want to be in 10 years? Where do you want to be in 20 years? Work backwards from that and take the disciplined, consistent steps to get there.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you so much, Michael. This was such a pleasure. I love how organic this was, how easy it was to talk to you about the market. Clearly there's a lot of opportunity in the market, and we're here to talk about this stuff. So if there's any comments or questions you have, feel free to comment on the video on YouTube, and we're gonna have probably in the future some more episodes with you. So looking forward to having some more chats about the market with you.
It's always fun to talk about real estate. This is beyond business. It's a passion, and is something that I believe should be the foundation to anyone's long-term wealth.
Yeah. Thank you for coming on Past Kupas.
Yeah. Thanks, Ash.
Bye.